Resistance equals suffering. So it depends on how much acceptance you can put on any single thing as to how much you suffer. Your choice. You create your reality with the way you think.
So is finding a distraction a good way to stop thinking at all?
Developing a mind that accepts life as it is stops thinking. A lot of the thinking we do is because we're not in acceptance of things as they are. We're concerned about how things are going to turn out. We get caught in tension. When you learn to accept life as it is, the mind can relax. And it can stay relaxed. Because if we have a problem and we're totally accepting of the problem, the thoughts stop. Total acceptance is the end of thinking. It's brilliant. I love it. But it takes quite a lot of practice to get good at accepting life as it is, because it's not something we're taught at school. We were taught to problem solve, we were taught to resist, we were taught to contract, we were taught to do all sorts of things that make us quite unhappy. Acceptance wasn't one of the things we were taught at school, yet it is the answer to having a happy life. If we can accept life as it is, we can be happy. We can stop suffering. But if we can't accept life as it is, we will continue to resist what we don't like and we'll suffer accordingly, because resistance equals suffering. So it depends on how much acceptance you can put on any single thing as to how much you suffer. Your choice. You create your reality with the way you think. No one's doing it to you, you're doing it to yourself.
Sometimes you talk about the 12 cylinders that you got and you choose to run on one. I wanted to ask you, is there any point in your day-to-day life that you go more than that? Or is it always...
Yeah, sometimes I run on 8 when I get into my V8 Mustang and put my foot down flat to the floor. There's 450 horsepower screaming. That motor screams, man. She gets up there so quick. Yeah, 8 cylinders. Yeah, I can go from 1 cylinder, I can go from 0 cylinders to 12 cylinders in less than a second and back again.
I've seen you on retreat giving fire. And is that you using the cylinders there?
It might be, I don't know. We'd have to pick a particular time.
When I saw it, it felt like you were, you were giving fire properly.
No point being half-hearted about things, is there? Totality rules. But the thing about going to 12 cylinders, as soon as it stops, it's back to 1 or 0. Because I live there. I live in that silence and stillness of nothingness. It's very nice. I watch humans suffer incredibly because they're constantly living in their heads, desiring things to be different than how they are, getting attached to what they think they have and getting frightened of losing it. What a terrible way to live. And so I try to talk people out of that. What about accepting life as it is? It's really nice to do that. And if you practice it, you get good at it. But people don't tend to practice it. They practice resistance. They practice contracting. And so they get really good at suffering.
Yes. Even as I practice, when things kind of, when I'm under pressure, I still get, caught, and still, even with all the practice, I still get, and I understand that's part of the practice as well. But it's like...
Well, that just means you haven't practiced enough.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Anything that catches you, or anyone that catches you, is actually your teacher. They're showing you where you haven't let go inside, where you haven't undone whatever belief systems you got caught on. And so the world is full of teachers. If you want the world to be full of teachers, all you've got to do is look where you contract. Look where you go into resistance. And instead of continuing to go into resistance, undo it all. Undo whatever belief systems are involved.
I wanted to ask you about belief systems as well. There's some obvious ones. You speak about them quite often, about fairness and shouldn't be betrayed, shouldn't be lied to. The kind of obvious ones. And there's more that are kind of subtle and less easy to spot. Could you give me some example, or maybe one or two examples of more subtle belief systems?
Not really. Just remove the gross ones first and then see what's left. That's the process. Get rid of the gross belief systems that cause contraction in you, and then see what's next. And as you release the gross ones, you'll find more subtle ones. That's the way to go. Giving you a subtle belief system for you to work on is just you trying to get my attention. Anything else?
Yeah, one last question, Vishen. Back to the cylinder thing. When you dance, do you use more cylinders? You use more. Okay.
Sometimes I just use one cylinder, and sometimes I use 12. And if I use 12, I have to have aspirin before and after. Because I am a very aggressive dancer. I love to dance, really, totally, and I throw myself into it. And my body is telling me that it doesn't like it, and unfortunately, I'm not listening. I believe you got to squeeze the juice out of life. We have this life, we might as well really enjoy it. And so totality in whatever we do is the best way to approach anything, because it usually guarantees success.